Hey guys, long time no see. Welcome to the Chad Prather Show. Thank you for tuning in. If you joined us this morning on the Dear America Show, we had a lot of fun, and we're going to have some more fun here. Going to get off the rails a little bit, and we're going to blow up the chat with the CLC. Cry Libs Cry, because I'm just skirting the edge while Royce is out of town, because you guys don't understand just how much Royce reels me back in these days, because I tend to get a strike on all the social media platforms out there, and I don't have much of a filter. But then again, I'm 52 years old, and I really don't care who gets offended. So we're going to say some offensive things in here today, because we have a whole lot of Riris out there having what I call a cardiac arrest. They are melting down in the teardrops. They are delicious. Get ready for 4 years of this stuff. And I am going to relish every single moment. I hope it is sheer mental torture. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, male, female, fat, skinny, identifies he, her, he, him, she, her, they, them, she, him, two-spirit, wild animal, trisexual, pan, whatever. I don't care what you are. You can marginalize yourself and create your sense of victimhood and your manufactured oppression all you want. We are going to make fun of you. Ridicule and mocking, it is in the job description, so you can cry all those tears, and maybe mama will come and pat your bobo and give you some more minutes on your dial-up websites and your Wi-Fi down in the basement. But you just keep licking that window and patting that purple head, baby, because you're not getting any sympathy here. This is the Chad Prather Show, and we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to blow that thing up today. CLC, Cry Libs Cry. I want you to hit like. I want you to hit share when you get an opportunity, and I definitely want you to subscribe to my Rumble channel. Chad Prather, man, I tell you, I've had a blast in Graham's absence doing the Dear America Show. The audience has been fantastic. We've had a lot of fun. Just massive amounts of people. I'm so impressed with that audience. They're just so cool, man. There's so much insight that I gained from that, and I'm just having a blast. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for welcoming me. I got to be careful. I don't want to give that Roman salute like Elon Musk did. You know, Elon Musk, he's in trouble because he threw that hand out there and waved to the crowd when he says, you know, my heart goes out to you. Apparently Elon, who just months ago was some Zionist plant. He was somebody that the Jews planted there, but now he's a Nazi. I don't know how that works. I mean, the same guy that was defending H-1B visas for Indians to come over there and work in tech jobs, apparently he's a white supremacist or a fascist or something like that. And I don't take seriously the lefty Riri progressives out there who are saying it's a Nazi salute, when just 6 months ago they were saying F the Jews on college campuses all across America. So just shut up at this point. Shut up. Oh, man. Before we go any further, I think you could tell we're going to have a good time. I want to remind you about our friends over at the Wellness Company. The Wellness Company, if you get sick in the middle of the night, you can't get over to the Walgreens. Go over there and get your Z-Pack. Get it started right there in the middle of the night. It'll be in your wellness kit. And you can go get your amoxicillin, all the stuff that you might need, because you get the sniffles, you get the flu, you get the fever, you got whatever's going on with you. I don't know what you people are into, but sometimes you might need a little penicillin. It's okay. Get your prescription medicines and keep them on hand by going to twc.health/Chad. It's the Wellness Company. They got the contagion kits. They got the medical kits. They have got the field emergency kits. They've got the children's kits, all the stuff that you need to keep your family safe, keep your family healthy. You can do the add-ons while you're there on the side. If you need to add ivermectin or various other things in there, you can do all of that stuff. But I keep these. I've got all the packs. I keep them in my kitchen cabinet. And you know what? I've used them numerous times, and then I request the refills. So twc.health/Chad, the Wellness Company. Give them a shout. Just go visit their website. And then if you use promo code Prather, I think it's Prather. If you go over there and use promo code Prather, they'll give you some money off on that deal. I just always tell people, use whatever promo code you want. Use Prather, use Chad. Just try something until it works. But, yeah, use code Prather. I think that's the deal. The Wellness Company, twc.health/Chad. All right. Hot Seat Todd's in the house. What's up, Todd?
What is going on?
Dude.
You talking about you're too old to care. Well, I ain't cared for a long time. Like, when did sticks and stones not apply anymore?
Thank you.
You know, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me.
Hurt me.
Oh, man, I've been saying for over 2 decades, that we were going to move into a day and age where people have no sense of identity and they're going to be offended by everything.
Here we are.
I used to joke about it when I used to do some ministry stuff. Like, I pastored churches, okay? So a lot of people are like, what? I did. I wasn't good at it. I'm a good preacher. I'm a good communicator.
Bad
I know
example.
my Bible. I went to seminary. I taught master's level Greek for a while. I know some things. I'm way more educated than what you guys want to think about me. But I will say this. I wasn't a good pastor. And let me tell you why I wasn't, Todd. Because I don't believe in patting your bobo. And what I mean by that is I don't want to understand your problems. I want to bottom line it for you. If you have an issue, you come to me and you have a marital issue or a parenting issue, or you got something going on in your life that's causing a crisis, I want to tell you how to fix it. Most people don't want their problems fixed. They find their identity in it. Most people want their problems understood. And the reason is because if you take their problems away, they will lose their identity. And so what we have is a whole lot of people out there who are creating problems, because you know how it is. We find ourselves, I was talking with my buddy Chris Wallen the other day. You know how guys get together. You know this. You're in the military. You know how guys start trading stories and they start one-upping each other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And men are especially wanting to go, I can tell you one worse than that. I can tell you one worse than that.
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah. And men like to show their scars. They like to show you, oh, yeah, you got this, I got that. Let me show you what happened here. You know, it's like that episode or that movie Jaws where they're out on the boat and they're showing who got bit by a shark and all this kind of stuff. And so you want to one-up each other. People are that way with their manufactured victimhood. People want to, and that's why I always say the issue is never the issue. When somebody tells you their problem, that's never the issue.
Never.
That's never the issue. So wisdom tells you to search beneath what they're saying. The perceived problem is never the problem. The issue is never the issue. So you got to dig down in there. People don't want to dig, man. They don't want to dig into themselves. I
tell people all the time, people do not change until the pain of same outweighs the pain of change.
And
you can write that down.
That is the truth. The pain of same. There's a lot of wisdom in that, my friend. But you're at a point now. You're at a point now where people are coming up with things so that they can identify themselves by their pain. So I've often used the example of these Hollywood A-list celebrities who have never heard no. I mean, they've been successful for so many years, had so many red carpets rolled out in front of them that now they have to manufacture something like, oh, my child is transgender. I mean, they literally have created this stuff. So now they can make themselves part of a marginalized society. I mean, their privilege and guilt has gotten so great that they had to bring themselves down so that everybody else will have something to feel sorry for them or something they can be offended by. And I don't care about you, Bobo. I don't care about making your feelings okay. I think we're supposed to be strong human beings with mental clarity and resilience and perseverance.
There's that word.
And personal responsibility. I mean, what happened to personal responsibility, dude? That's the weird thing, is nobody wants to do that, and people don't want to think anymore. Thinking is painful. Yeah. Critical thinking is surgically painful.
They dang sure don't want to think for themselves. Yeah, that's for sure. They let Don Lemon or Rachel Maddow or you mama make me happy, Joy Reid. They let those type of people think. But people say all the time, well, this all started with the participation trophy. No, the hell it didn't. It started back in when I was like first grade, where the kid that had like a 1.9 GPA, like that was a walking, talking, rock with lips, mouth breather, but he still got an award for perfect attendance. Like, that's when it started.
Everybody got a ribbon. Everybody got a certificate.
Yeah.
He was the most congenial.
Yeah. Congratulations. You came every day and learned nothing. Way to go.
I want to go back to a society where it was okay to get picked last. It was okay to get cut from the team. Michael Jordan wouldn't have been Michael Jordan if he hadn't gotten cut from the teams. And we talk about bullying. Bullying is a word that people misconstrue. And I again, there's some bad situations out there. But I've always said, people always get so angry with me when I bring up like cyberbullying. I'm like, you can push the button and like turn the machine off.
Top right corner, there's an X.
And just forget it. But you don't know what my kid's been through. I don't. Admittedly, I don't. And I feel for the pain. I don't want anybody to hurt. But, man, my mama beat my butt with everything she could get her hands on, and then my dad came home and beat me again. Now, my mother will push back. She'll call me later, and she's like, I didn't beat you. Yeah, you did. With everything you could get your hands on, from the wooden spoon to the fly swatter to the dog collar, she'd beat me with the dog still in it. I mean, everything. And you know what? We didn't question our identity. We didn't question our gender. Nope. We didn't worry about going to school and changing clothes into a dress. None of those things. We were pretty tough. We could handle loss. We could handle rejection. We could handle some breakups. We weren't overly sensitive. But these days, we've elevated ideas like tolerance and sensitivity almost to a magical thing, like it's a God experience, that if I can just be the most sensitive man, if I could just be the guy that weeps with you and cries for you and feels for you, then and so you saw the rise of the beta male, and that's another thing that trips them up, Todd. When you start calling them beta males,
microbladed and crap like that, like, man, get out of here. That's what you are. Like,
go get my manicure.
You're a metro beta, and look, but I mean, can't everybody be an alpha? I mean, I'm sorry, they just can't. There are men out there that just don't have that killer instinct, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just different. And I'll tell you a quick story, and I know you want to move on, but I've got a family member who I love with all my heart. I mean, all my heart. Wonderful, wonderful young man. Perfect score on the ACT in high school. When I say perfect, I mean perfect. Full ride to Alabama. And he'd come to the house, and, he's asking me my opinion. He's a good bit younger than I was, and he said, Todd, I think I'm going to go to Alabama, University of Alabama, get a degree in criminal justice. I want to be a cop. And I said, you can't be a cop. And he just kind of looked at me, and I said, look, man, I'm not your dad. I'm not your mom. I believe in being honest with you. I said, if you're going to be a law enforcement officer, there's going to come a time when you're going to have to pull that gun out and point it at somebody and pull the trigger, or you're not going home. And I said, son, you're going to get killed. I said, because you ain't got it in you. Like, that's not a bad thing. You got a big heart. You're a good dude. You just don't have it. I mean, you just don't have it in you. You're smart. You're intelligent. You've got so many other things to offer the world. That ain't it. And
no, and that's wise counsel. Because there's nothing wrong with being that type of person, being a little more cerebral, being a little more sensitive. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you elevate it to a point of saying, this is something I'm striving after, we got a problem. And then you start to vilify things by giving them a label such as toxic masculinity, which there's no such thing as that. Because if it's toxic, it ain't masculine. If it's masculine, it ain't toxic. So there's those two things violate each other. So they got their feelings hurt, Todd, because Trump started doing, alpha male kind of things. He came in and said, this is what we're going to do. And he did it. And he started signing the executive orders, and the meltdowns of the snowflakes just... Everybody's looking for their safe space. They're wanting to draw in their coloring books. Everybody's melting down because it's out of their control. Because this idea of a man stepping in, God forbid it be a white man or a straight man, but a man stepping in and saying, this is what we're going to do. I mean, I'm going to lead this wagon train, okay? And we're moving forward. They don't like that. They want to operate by committee. They want to operate by what feels right. Let's get our emotions in check. General principle of life. You don't feel your way into acting. You got to act your way into feeling. So that's a big deal. I mean, if you're feeling down in the dumps, start acting different, and your feelings will tend to follow. But these days, we want somebody to, seek out all these committees and opinions and polls and stuff like that. Trump said, I'm not interested in that. That's why we talked about it yesterday. The stuff that Trump was saying in his inauguration speech, everybody was clapping. Everybody was excited. It brought a tear to our eyes.
Except for two people.
Yeah, and it made the hair on the back of our neck stand up because to us it was common sense. It weren't radical ideas. So here we are. Some guy, you had a bully in school, you punched him in the mouth. You either got punched in the mouth, you punched him in the mouth. You either put him in place, but it tested your mettle. It tested your mettle, and I had my ass handed to me a few times, and then I handed some asses to some people unexpectedly from time to time. But this idea that everybody gets to participate, well, Trump started signing stuff. Throw that first one I sent you. Throw the first one up there. There's an article, I encourage you to get it, by Michael Schellenberger. He said millions took to the streets to protest Donald J. Trump's inauguration in 2017. This year, not so much. He said, in fact, it's almost nothing by comparison. And we were looking for all of these huge protests yesterday. It sort of didn't look like that big of a deal.
Not really.
Not
really.
I saw Tim Kennedy posted on X this morning. He said, nothing happened yesterday. We were waiting on, always with some kind of expectation of something bad to pop off. But Schellenberger said the reason is because so many issues from trans to the border, so many of these things, Trump defeated the Democrats morally, not just politically. Scroll up on that deal to the title of this. And he said, go further up. There you go. He says, the reason Democrats are so quiet is because Trump defeated them morally and not just politically. He says, migration, energy, trans, other issues, the majority of Americans agree with Republicans right now and not the Democrats.
Yeah.
So, again, what we've been saying is the folks on the left went so dadgum far left that they left. There's a great preacher who said, he's gone now, but he said that it's possible that you get so far out in front of the people you're trying to lead that they actually perceive you as the enemy. So the left ran off and left the Democrat Party. Yep. And so now the black community, the Hispanic community, so many others, and I don't dare speak for anybody because there's individuals within every camp that just says, no, I don't feel that way. But I'm just saying, by and large, the outcome of November 5th proved to us that people were scratching their head going, oh, y'all are off the reservation.
Well, it goes back to what I just said earlier. The country finally figured out, or finally felt it. The pain of the same outweighed the pain of change. Yeah. And we got to make a change. And that's what 77 million people decided to do. Yeah. And it's like I had this argument with my son, no less. And he was like, Dad, I'm not old enough to vote. He said, obviously I would vote for Trump, but he's like, Dad, he's really no better than the Democrats. He's committed adultery. He's done this. He's done that. And I said, son, there's a difference between making mistakes and having principles. Yep. I said, Donald Trump has made mistakes. Yeah, he's probably been promiscuous. He's probably done a lot of things that he ain't proud of, and he's made mistakes. I said, but where the difference is, son, is this other side, this is their principle. They believe in murdering children. They stand on the promise of men can be women and women can be men. I said that's a big difference there. And America saw that and was like, nope, we're not buying into that. We're done. We're finished.
Well, when you're going to use every statistically marginalized people group out there to try to make policy around it, and you're going to flood the administration with these fringe people, whether they're furries or whatever they may be, and try to normalize that kind of stuff, and then you got dudes swinging their wieners around in a women's bathroom and trying to legalize that kind of stuff, and not only just make it policy, but trying to launder it out there as something that's not just legal, but it's normal. It ain't normal. And you know what? People know that. People know that. And they tried to do everything they could to make people like you and me who say those things we're a hate group. So we've been called everything from racist, homophobe, transphobe, xenophobe, bigot, misogynist, Nazi, you fill in whatever white noise label. That's why we've said over the years, we've just said, you know what, they're going to label you, just wear the label.
Yeah,
but we got to
wear it.
push through to the common sense and say, look, they're having cardiac arrest. These people have lost their mind. They belong in a mental institution. Now, Trump and family and J.D. Vance and family went to the National Cathedral this morning, and I don't know, they brought this bishop out there. Bishop, I'm going to use that in quotations because this person,
Very
this
loosely.
lady is an activist. This is a false prophet, if you even want to say the word prophet here. I want you to listen to what she says. I don't know how she slipped through the cracks to be the one who's given the little, the little sermonette here, but just basically uses as an opportunity to go after Donald Trump. I want you to, if the cameras pan over on this clip, I don't know, we'll see. Donald Trump rolled his eyes, and even J.D. Vance looked at Usha and was like, what is this chick talking about? Play the clip, Todd. Listen up, guys.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens.
That's
Or
racist.
have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away.
All right, let's
And that you
stop
help
this trash.
those who are fleeing war zones and persecution.
For those of you,
Lord.
if you had audio issues on that, she's basically saying there's gay and trans children in every family, Republican, Independent, Democrat, and then she said you got the people who may be here illegally, don't have the right documentation. They pick our crops, they wash our dishes, they clean our offices long after we've gone home. I mean, that's again this racist rhetoric that they use to say that, quote, brown people are the people who are going to do the menial jobs, the labor jobs, the jobs that white Americans don't want to do because of our privilege. I saw somebody on X the other day who said, who's going to do these jobs? You are, jackass. You're going to do it, and we're going to do it, and somebody's going to do it because, believe it or not, contrary to what revisionist history wants to tell you, Native Americans didn't build the country that you live in right now. Blacks didn't build the country that you live in right now. Brown people didn't build the country that you live in. And white people didn't build the country. Americans built the country that you live in right now. Hardworking, strong ethic, moral Americans built the greatest country that's ever existed in the history of the world. And to say, oh, it was built on the backs of slaves. No, it wasn't. It was built on migrants. No, it wasn't. Native Americans. No, it wasn't. I mean, most of you would be hard-pressed if I really pushed you to tell me one lasting piece of society culturally that Native Americans have contributed to America. You'd be pretty hard-pressed to tell me what that is. But that's beside the point because, again, you're going to tell me that I'm engaging in hate speech. No, I'm just actually telling you real history. That's reality. I'm not here to filter out the truth and pat you bobo. I'm just telling you it was built on the backs of hardworking Americans that had the same ethic. So there you go. And if that rubs the cat the wrong way, the freaking cat can turn around. The status quo ain't nothing to quo about, baby.
I'm still trying to process that clip.
Well, somebody in the chat help me.
That really, honest to God, really makes me miss the old wrath of God there. The fact that this person is standing behind a pulpit on Sundays talking to anyone.
Yeah,
anyone,
representative of God, of a higher power.
Absolutely blows me away. It's literally nothing that came out of her mouth. Nothing had a biblical principle behind it.
No.
Nothing.
and you can love everybody. You can love everybody. You can show compassion and kindness towards anybody. In fact, you should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, that's what we're called to do.
Yeah, but tolerating things in the name of tolerance, no. You get around a bunch of kids, the kids are screaming and running around the restaurant, and it's somebody else's kid. You can tolerate the noise and the chaos those kids are creating to a point. But after that, it's like, it's time for somebody to get these kids under control.
Bro, I used to.
And we're living in a day and age, where you want to say, look, either you beat these kids or I'm going to beat these kids.
That was my standing rule. Dad, can so-and-so spend the night? That's fine, son. Just make sure they parents know. I'll whoop their ass just like I do yours. Just let them know.
But what we've done in society, in American societies, we've elevated this idea of tolerance to say, you know what, people could do they can act however they want to act, and we're just supposed to be okay with it because that is their orientation, or that's their preference, or that's their lifestyle. And it sounds weird, dude, but I've been thinking about this word tolerance a lot since the beginning of the year, because I knew that one of the things that was going to come our way was this cry for more tolerance. We're supposed to tolerate illegals. We're supposed to tolerate people who don't have the right documentation. What this, quote, bishop had to say is a perfect example of that. I'm supposed to tolerate this and this. I don't shape my policy on the basis of your tolerance level.
Not at all. Not at all. And it all goes back to, she's like, Mr. President, have mercy, because not all of them are bad. Lady, you better be thankful I wasn't in your congregation, because my hand would have went up immediately. And I'd have been like, okay, here, let's play out this scenario there, Bishop. All right, you're going to invite 10 friends to your house, okay? And those 10 friends are going to bring 10 friends of theirs that you have no idea about. One of them is definitely going to be a murderer or a rapist. Are you going to invite all 20 people in your house at this point? Nuh-uh. I don't think so.
I mean, statistically, the odds are in that favor. That's like that old Garth Brooks song, and I spit when I say Garth Brooks' his name, but that old Garth Brooks song about, how when we can all worship from our own kind of pew and the world's big enough for all different views, and you don't believe that. You don't believe that, because there's a lot of crazy views out there. Mm-hmm. If you're just going to tolerate everything, then you know what, lady? If I'm supposed to tolerate all the lifestyles that you're pushing me towards to tolerate, then you got to tolerate my lifestyle too. And my lifestyle, whatever that may be, my lifestyle may say, I don't want to do that kind of thing. Maybe you need to learn to tolerate a guy with Asperger's from South Africa who came over here and did something that you perceive to be a Nazi salute when he says, my heart goes out to you. I saw a stupid man to be on the Dear America Network where I got to control myself.
Woosah.
Ooh, goose fraba. Those who have followed me for a long time know how hard it is. I'm gonna have my own little conniption right here. Let me just say, I saw a guy on X a little while ago who he posted on there. He said, I just don't think I can trust. He said, I'd rather not entrust space travel to a guy who does a Nazi salute. Sit down, bro, because I got a story to tell you that you're not going to believe. I mean, there was this cat by the name of Werner von Braun who was a Nazi who came over here and went to work for NASA and actually put people in space. I don't know if you know where NASA came from or where those scientists came from, but maybe you might be in for a little bit of a shock, Chief.
Yeah, thanks to the wonderful recruiting by the old USA, we took the German scientist away from Hitler, because if we hadn't, he would have developed the jet engine and we would have been screwed.
And they'd have dropped the bomb on us.
Yeah, so
they'd have dropped the bomb on us. He's a moron. So again, that's what the schools, that's what the brainwashing and the revisionist history gets us right there. Idiots like that who have no clue of how this world has worked. That's the whole thing. Good and evil has been implemented in some things that are evil actually work together for pretty good. That's actually a biblical principle. Sometimes God will take the things intended for evil and use them for good. So We're dealing with a lot of stupid people.
Yeah, and listen, Bishop, if you want to preach that kind of tolerance, that's fine. All right, I got no problems with that. Just don't do it from my Lord and Savior's pulpit, okay? Go find somewhere else to do it, okay?
Don't do it in the name of God. Don't do it in the name of God because Jesus was extremely narrow-minded. People don't want to hear that. Jesus was love and Jesus was kindness. And I remind everybody, go read those parts of your Bibles that you didn't highlight or underscore. Mm-hmm. Go read the parts of the book you didn't dog ear, okay? Jesus did preach love. But, man, let me tell you something. There were some conditions to that love. In John chapter 14, when he says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life, he didn't say I'm a way among ways. I'm the way. He said, I'm the truth. I'm not your truth or my truth. I'm not a truth. I'm the truth. I am the life. I'm not something, some life form out there that you can embrace. No, I am the life. I'm the only life you can get that matters. You go read Matthew chapter 7, where Jesus says, there's going to be people that say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and do many wondrous works? And he's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. I never had an intimate knowledge of you. And then he says, you're a worker of iniquity. And he said, and great in that day is going to be the weeping, wailing, and the gnashing of teeth. Because you're not going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. So these people who come out, you're right, Todd, these people who come out here and they're going to do it in Jesus' name, in the name of tolerance, in the name of kindness, in the name of so-called love. That ain't real love. If you're driving towards a cliff, man, and I don't stop you, that ain't love.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Not
if I'm
at
like,
all.
you know what, Todd just likes to do his thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in Todd's way.
No.
So,
I'm not the friend you want. I'm here to tell you. And I say this on my show all the time. I might hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna tell you what Jesus loves, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, that's what you get. I can make everybody mad. I mean, that's what you get when you start bringing in bobbed hair, bossy wives, and women preachers into the pulpit.
Woo, man.
Make everybody mad.
Man, you just get me fired up for my show this afternoon, man.
That's where you start kicking the dust off your shoes when you walk out of there. Mm-hmm. And those of you who've seen the clip have probably saw Trump's reaction, and J.D. Vance's reaction when he looks over at Usha was hilarious. Because again, this is an activist. You can go back and find her name is Marianne Buddha or Boudet or something. That ought to tell you something. Now last name is Buddha. But it's Buddhe, I think, Boudet, whatever. But you could go back and see the stuff that she said where she was calling for Trump to be kicked out of office back in 2020. So she ain't a preacher. She ain't a bishop. She's not a person of the cloth. She's not sanctified, revered or anything else. She's an activist. She's an activist. But good. Let's keep hurting her feelings. All right, pull something else up. I don't know what all I gave you now. Pull something up, Todd. Let's talk about that.
Well, I was actually trying to find found the clip. I think I got the response from Trump and JD right here.
Yeah, let's do it. Play it if you got it, brother.
Let's check this.
Let's see
this. Make the hair
up.
on the back of your neck stand up right here, bud.
Here we go. Watch them.
Some who fear for their lives.
Look at Trump.
And the people who pick our crops.
Our crops.
And clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals.
And watch Tiffany. She looks over at her dad in the back row.
Trump's just like, he's counting the tiles on the floor right now.
But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors.
And can I
They are
stop?
faithful members of our churches.
That's
and
a good
mosques.
one. That's how you know JD is the vice presidential pick Trump needed, because right there.
Yeah.
Let me do it. Let me do a check. All right, he's okay.
And let's just say, if you're in this country illegally, you are a criminal. She said they're not all criminals. Well, actually, they are. By the definition of the word breaking the law, they're criminals. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't do everything they could to get here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They were trying to look out for their family. They took the route to get in here chasing a dream. Okay, fine. But you're still a criminal. To say they're not all criminals, no, they're not all rapists and murderers, but at the same time, Trump never said that. He was talking about MS-13 gangs and stuff like that. We have seen statistically where there are some problematic people mixed in, and you can't avoid that anymore. And you're going to see more and more of this. We just saw yesterday in Vermont a Border Patrol agent in an altercation with an illegal in Vermont, of all places, lost his life, and so did the
Last time I
illegal.
checked, Vermont wasn't a border state.
No. No, but they're all border states now.
Yeah, we
They're
all are
border
border
states
states now, every one of us.
So, this cry libs cry, man. CLC, cry libs cry. Hey, before we go any further, I want to go to the next clip. Before we go any further, I want to remind everybody about America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. When you get over there, you can use promo code Chad, or you can call them on the phone, 972-PATRIOT. Talk to an American customer service office and talk to them. They will help you out and get you taken care of. You will not lose coverage. You will be using the same cell phones, towers as the rest of the big ones that are out there. And Patriot Mobile is going to make sure that your hard-earned dollars not only go to patriotic causes, but they support the things that you believe in. They support your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, the right to life, all those beautiful, beautiful values. They're not going to be like those other cell phone carriers that throw your money to leftist crazy causes that create more meltdowns like these. So check them out, patriotmobile.com/Chad. They have the deal for you. It will fit your family's budget. They got whatever you need. They will help you with whatever. If you need a new phone, need a new number, if you need to switch things over, you can do all that. They'll even give you free activation if you use my name when you call them. And they will take care of our veterans, our first responder heroes, and our active duty military. So check them out. Visit over there, patriotmobile.com/Chad, or give them a call, 972-PATRIOT.
Patriot. Talk to Sarah from Oklahoma.
Yeah, call Sarah. All right. What was next? What did we have?
Yeah,
here?
I got this lovely thing. It's just, I think you just did this show to piss me off today.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to just trigger them a little bit. I mean, just be thankful.
I'm triggered.
To the lefty trolls that are out there, just be thankful that Trump hasn't passed an executive order to get rid of purple, yellow, or red hair dye. You guys can get along just fine because you got your hair dye. This poor child, this is a mental illness. This is the result of the mainstream media brainwashing people. This is what happens when you keep your kid in front of a screen too long. Play the clip.
Hey guys, everything feels really out of control and scary, and I'm really anxious. Elon Musk, did a Nazi salute for some reason. That's so scary. And Donald Trump's the president, and that's so scary. And he basically admitted to voter fraud, but we're all just kind of glossing over that. Also, if you look up, this is random, if you look up right now in the search bar on TikTok, the Taylor Swift song, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, it's all, for me at least, I'll tell you, it's all, replaced with woman, ? What is about to happen? I have, such, impending doom and fear, and, what is about to happen? So, I'm just laughing because I'm scared. I don't... why, I'm not understanding either why Elon Musk is involved. Isn't he not American? What is fucking going on? What is happening?
And this just... Listen, we all know... look, yes, Elon Musk is from South Africa. All right, very, very racial area in South Africa. Very. Everybody's seen Lethal Weapon 2. All right, y'all know what went on down there. Okay, but let's
Little thing called apartheid. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be real about something here for this poor little chick right here. All right, if by chance that was a Hitler sign, chick, you're good. You're white. Your eyes are blue. Unless you're Jewish, you're good to go. You're fine. All right. So, at least when you're going to get up and cry about something, have a little bit of knowledge. Just a little.
Well, and for those of you who are listening, you don't grab your reality from a Taylor Swift song. That's not the basis for your reality, is what Taylor Swift is singing. And, what is the T-shirt she's wearing there?
That's a nice little Twilight, the glittery vampires.
Yeah. These people have lived in a fantasy land for so long. So, again, suck it up, Buttercup. I've got a T-shirt at Prather Tees right now, and on the back of it says "Suck it up, Buttercup." No sad faces, no safe spaces. races. We are unapologetic. And so this type of thing, we need some thicker skin. You just don't, yeah. I mean, and you know what, by and large, let me tell you something about America. Todd, you and I have talked about it. We were just having this conversation the other day with my guys as we were traveling home from doing a show this weekend. Most of the world is racist. You don't believe me? Spend a little time in Asia. Spend a little time Central and South America. You know what? Try to call somebody from Honduras Mexican. They're not, and you're like, well, that's not about race. That's about nationality. Give it a shot. If you're Japanese, go to the Philippines and see how they treat you. They still hadn't gotten over the whole World War II thing. So, and you want to know who's the most racist people in the world? It's Chinese people. Check them out and see. I mean, I'm sorry that this doesn't line up with your feelings when I tell you these things, but in South Africa, they literally do a little study. I mean, South Africa has had a lot of problems with that. And I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's okay, but you're living in the least racist country on the planet. America was doing great until Barry Soetoro came along and decided to tell everybody that they were racist and set race relations in this country back 70 years. And now everybody's looking for every little twitch of the eye to say, that guy he drank out of a cup of water just like Hitler did. Oh, my gosh.
Is there racism in America? Yeah.
Yes,
of course there is. It's loaded with it. All right, but once you understand the beauty and fabric of our country, then it might dawn on you and make sense, okay? If I go to Germany and grab 10 people, the majority of them, they're going to look the same, they're going to speak the same language. If I go to Japan, same thing. China, same thing. India, same thing. Russia, same thing. You come to America and grab 10 people, holy crap. You might get 10 different skin tones, 10 different religious beliefs, 10 different cultural adaptations or whatever you want to call it. But the beauty behind that and what the founders understood of that is that what that's meant to do is to take those 10 people that are totally different and combine their strengths like Captain Planet and form one badass country. But that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is that, oh, you don't look like me, so you're an idiot. Or, I'm sorry, I was told by Rachel Maddow that because Todd Spears is a unicorn, he's a white, male, Christian, straight, heterosexual being, a unicorn, I have to hate him. And so the division there is what's made us so weak, when in all reality, it's supposed to be a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful to be different.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some guys like redheads, some guys like blondes, some guys like brunettes. But again, I'm not going to go out there and discriminate against somebody on the basis of this. Again, they're creating hate where it doesn't exist. They're creating it. What's his name? Ari Shafir, whatever his name was. He was on Howie Mandel's podcast just this week, and he was talking about. He's like, you know, Howie was really trying to bait him into talking about how they're mistreating Jewish people across the country. And he's like, yeah, that's just not where I live in the real world. Like when I go out, you know, people keep telling me that. He goes, but I don't hear what you're talking about. And it was pissing Howie Mandel off because he was like, yeah, that's not the real world. I mean, we see it online and we see it on the internet. That stuff's only on the internet. And again, does it exist out there? But I promise you, nobody out there listening, none of you guys out there, you don't walk in a restaurant and start trying to pick out the person who's the patron in there and start trying to figure out how you're different from that person. You just I want to go in there and have dinner and be left alone, and that's fine. I'll say hi to somebody, I'll hold the door for you, and just keep moving on with my life.
Yeah, and somebody just mentioned and said this in the chat, and I want to make sure I say this. Abby, Kevin Island, whatever. But that's where I learned. What the little spiel I just went on was when I was 17 years old and I had never left the state of Mississippi, Alabama. Here, same people, same principles, same ideas, same everything. I get shipped off to basic training where, y'all, I met my first Wiccan. I didn't even know what the hell a Wiccan was. And he became a really good friend of mine. I'd go to my church service on Sunday, and he'd go sit under a tree. And I'm like, cool, you go say hello to the bark and stuff for me. I'm going to go see Jesus. But the diversity of the military just opened my eyes, and we were able to take, and that's why you train in groups. There are no individuals in the military, and you train as a group, and you take all that diversity in your platoon, and you become like one serious killing unit. And if we could just apply that to our everyday here in America, oh my God, we wouldn't need Donald Trump. We wouldn't need him.
I mean, that is the literal meaning of universe and university, that out of the diversity, there is one. Pull up the Dan Bongino post, which I thought was pretty funny, as only Dan could say. He said, we're definitely into the FO portion of the FAFO program.
We sure.
We're at that point where people are going to find
out.
And Trump ain't interested in your feelings. Pull the Eric Doherty clip up there. And here's where it's going to happen, folks. This is what you're going to get when the feelings are soft and they're fighting back, breaking. The Trump administration now faces multiple lawsuits over birthright citizenship executive order. There's already 2 lawsuits there. They're fighting back against the forming of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and making it easier to fire federal staff. So they're going to start doing that. So we're not even 24 hours into this administration, and here it comes.
I can 100% speak on that. Firing federal staff, how hard that is. It's impossible. Like I was a GS employee for a couple years at a undisclosed location that I will not be telling. They some worthless individuals in the GS system, and I'm like, how do you have a job?
Well,
and it's because they're
fired.
unionized. They're unionized,
Yeah.
and the command. And because see, I'm coming from the Army, and I'm stepping into the Air Force. All right, and the way the Army treats their civilians, at least the way we did, very differently. Okay, you work for me, bud. All right, I'm wearing the uniform. You're just a Peckerwood civilian. You do what the hell I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. And if you don't like it, you can go kick rocks and play in traffic. All right, the Air Force don't work that way. All right, they're unionized, and man, you can, let alone somebody becomes an active shooter, you can't get rid of these people. So yeah, I can totally see people being pissed off about that.
Yeah. So, and I see some people in the chat asking, the FAFO means you F around, you find out. That's what Bongino so eloquently said. You're in the FO phase of that program. And then one of my favorite follows is the satire account of Jebra Fauché. This was the plan all along. These people exist, first of all. CLC in the chat, cry libs cry. This is what happens when you've been poked, jabbed too many times. I don't know what you've poisoned yourself with, but this is the woke mind virus. Just make sure the volume's up on this so we can hear this guy, Todd. And let's, oh my gosh, play the clip. This guy's
What
serious.
if, and stick with me here, what if
I don't want to.
they needed him to think that he was president for like a second, and they needed him to think that he was president for a second so that he would think that he got away with it. And if he thinks that he got away with it, he would show who he really is. Because the way I see it is we didn't elect DJT. We elected Mr. Pew Pew.
Mr. Pew Pew.
And the Our Country. And I think, based on how they've been talking and acting and just behaving lately, I think our leaders know that. And they understand what's going to happen. Or what would happen. And I don't think that they are going to willingly hand us over on a silver platter. What if?
Bro, only you can understand that logic. Only you. Only you can understand what the hell you just said. Like only you. Oh my God,
Oh my
man.
gosh!
Good Lord.
Listen, there's things I want to say. I can't because Graham will get mad at me.
These people vote, Chad.
there's-
These people vote. That's why we need an IQ test to
This
vote.
This is the guy that found a way to get milk out of the almond right here.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
From sucking on it so hard.
He found the nipple on the almond, that's for sure.
and just this Harry Potter looking wannabe just decided that Mamala's going to come save him, and that's the attitude. The Mamala attitude is that we got some big savior that she was going to come in there and just be sweet and nice and demure and all of these kind of things. That was the bill of goods they were trying to pull over, because these were the people in this election cycle that they were trying to target. And so we were going to elect Mr. Pew Pew, and then he
Pew Pew.
swallows whatever jizzes in his mouth and takes a breath and starts talking again. Nobody knows what this guy's talking about. We're just going to make him believe.
No.
But again, to be fair, this also to me is sort of like a lot of the people back after 2020 when everybody thought Trump and his secret army were going to come riding back into Washington, D.C. and overthrow the government. That was equally pretty stupid out there. And I know that'll make some folks mad to say that, but did it happen? Did it happen? Did it happen? No. Because it was stupid. And it's time for somebody to tell you the truth on that. This kind of logic, this kind of stupidity, this is a fantasy world. And that's our problem as a society. We've taught people that Disney princesses are real and that somebody's going to come up and white knight everything and just show up and save the day, when what you should have been learning is how to suck it up and embrace reality. I mean, we just did for 4 years. We've been villainized and vilified and told that we were enemies of the state, that we were going to be re-educated, and it was time, we were a basket of deplorables and we were garbage. We've been told all of this stuff for the last 4 years. We've been labeled everything we could. You guys get offended if we call you a snowflake or woke. You've called us Nazis and literal Hitler and fascists, and the list goes on and on.
I bet he can play the hell out of some Minecraft, though. I bet you he can. That's why he's so pale. His mom finally let him out the damn basement.
The only thing he's ever exercised in his life is his thumb muscles from playing PS4.
Yes, his mama still brushes his hair. I promise you. I promise.
Ma! Meatloaf! Ma! Give me some meatloaf!
I guarantee it. Mama still brushes his hair.
I promise you, this person does not pay their own bills or doesn't take care of themselves. And I can just tell you, because I want you to pop up this next one. We have seen this over and over again. Here is the ultimate cry libs cry.
This is great.
Post. We've seen this before. This is San Francisco, California, when they're suffering from severe Trump derangement syndrome. And what I want you to listen to, and let's turn the volume up. Todd, listen to the countdown.
Oh, yeah.
The countdown that they give.
No, they don't.
To the angst here. Cry, libs, cry. They're going to do it for you. Play it.
Oh, hell. Oh my God! Like, really?
This is why you beat your kid's ass.
Yes, that's AOC's book club right there. They meet every Monday.
This is what gentle parenting got us.
For sure.
This is what a timeout culture, participation culture got us. And every time I talk about the participation trophy, people get mad at me. They're like, "Well, our kids need to be affirmed."
Do they?
Do they?
No, your kids need to be told they suck when they suck.
It makes them better. It makes them better. If you ain't first, you're last, man. I mean, you let them get kicked out of the Applebee's every now and then.
Yeah.
But discipline them. Otherwise, they're going to be like the little Harry Potter kid over there, living in, la la land fantasy world, and he's going to get a job, and he's going to have a little cubicle, and he's going to make his money for the first time, and then their company's going to have a downsize, and they're going to go to break and come back after lunch, and there's going to be a box on his desk, and he's got to fill it up with his stuff because he's been fired. He's gone. He's not going to know how to handle that level of rejection. He's not going to know how to deal with that. And so guess what? It's not his fault that he was subpar. It's not his fault that the company couldn't keep him on. It's not his fault. Why would I take responsibility for my student loan? Why would I ever think about paying back my college tuition? Why would I do that? It's somebody else's responsibility to take care of me. Because when I graduated school with a degree in underwater basket weaving and gay studies in the Sudan, I expected to come out of college after 4 years and make exactly the amount of money that my parents were making after 30 years in the workplace. And because I didn't get it, then the system is against me, and I need to be making $17.50 an hour flipping hamburgers and getting people's orders wrong at a McDonald's.
Now, you can affirm them. You can affirm that you still love them after they wake up from the concussion.
Yeah.
Like, I got no problems with that. I love you.
I have 4 kids, 4 grown, successful kids. Those of you who know me know just how successful my kids are. And let me tell you what I told them. They all went to college. They all went to college on purpose. And they used their college degree. And let me tell you what I told them. I said, we will never fund bad ideology. If you come home at Thanksgiving break and you want to sit there around the dinner table and tell me how you think Bernie Sanders would have made a good president and AOC has good ideas, I'm going to know that some whack job, never had a job, quote, academician in a scholar bubble who's done nothing but push papers around a desk for 30 years in a tenured, office. Some sociology professor got to you, and we're going to bring you home, and you don't like it, I'll chain you to the bed. I'll read the Bible to you every day. I'll take the door.
We're going to re-educate you.
You gonna slam your door in my face? We'll take the door off the dadgum hinges.
You ain't lying.
So people are like, that's just not reasonable and that's not realistic. It is where I live.
That's a fact, Jack.
Because I love my kids too much.
Yeah.
I love my
mine
kids. I love them enough, because here's the thing. You want to have authority, you're going to be under authority. If somebody will put you under authority at some point in time if they have to put handcuffs on you and put you in a jail cell. So I want you to be disciplined by somebody that loves you.
Fact.
Rather than the world discipline you, because the world can be ruthless and brutal and without mercy.
I promise you one thing. I'm about to be 42 years old, and my father, Mike Spears, is about to be 60 in April. I promise you. That 60-year-old will still whoop my ass at 42. I promise you. I promise you.
Because he'd go ahead and weaken the knees because he's already intimidated you. You scared to hit back.
That's a fact. That's
you tell
a
them
fact.
boys, hey, you can bite some of this off, but I got man strength.
That's right. He got that old man strength now. Ain't no doubt.
and anybody, when Jake Paul got in the ring with Mike Tyson and they rigged that fight, and people are like, oh man, Mike Tyson's however old, 68 years old, 60 years old, he can't fight against a young boy. You ain't spent no time in Harris County Jail. There's an old man in there that can whoop your tail.
That's a fact.
And you won't know what hit you. That's the truth. So I'm just saying, cry, libs, cry. Get ready for this. I wanted to do this episode because you guys are going to spend a whole lot of time seeing this meltdown. You just thought it's been bad before. Now, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you, Todd, just in a nutshell, and we'll wrap this thing up, do a couple of super chats, and let people go home. But here's the thing. You know why they don't have the millions of people out there protesting? Because they don't have the people paying them this time.
That's a fact.
They don't have the funding for it.
That's a fact.
Because the billionaire globalists out there, they're in Davos right now for the World Economic Forum, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to waste our money because those protests didn't work in the past. Actually, all it did was push people further towards not just the right, but towards common sense. And so why are we going to keep funding this stuff that didn't work? That's why you're not seeing these mass protests. Now, I'm not saying you won't have some crazy rogue actors that don't do some crazy dangerous stuff, or they might try some idiotic things in the days ahead. They will. But I don't see the big protests because I don't see the big paychecks. They're not being paid to push the agenda. So there we are.
Common sense finally won. It had its day.
For now, it's going to take us about 12 years to overturn
at least.
But yeah, we gotta keep it rocking and rolling. Let me say this before y'all dive out of here. We're about to do some super chats, and hang with y'all for a minute. But before you go, I'm in Austin, Texas next week, and then that's Thursday night. I think it's 26th. Austin, Texas, Cap City Comedy Club. Then Friday night, I'm in Waco, back at the Hippodrome. And then Saturday night, Granbury, Texas, south of Fort Worth. So watchchad.com is where all the fun stuff is. And make sure you're following Todd, all his socials, at Todd Spears 1776.
That's
and
it.
Of course, I'm at Watch Chad. Get involved in the conversation in the public square. All right, Todd.
Here we go. We got a couple of them here. We got the first one is from Caddy Highlander. I couldn't be in church like that. That church is lost, so watered down, and I don't claim it as a church. What Todd was referring to German scientists is called Operation Paperclip. Yes, sir.
There you
yes,
go.
sir. Obviously, they didn't watch Captain America either because we took that scientist too. I mean, he did create S.H.I.E.L.D., but to each his own. Redneck Chickie. I like that name. Second
like
place
that too.
is just the first loser. That is a fact. Listen, that's all we got. Listen, before you guys bounce out of here, I need everybody to do me a favor. If you're in Graham's chat right now, okay, I need you, the link is pinned. I need you to hop on over to Chad, click that link, hop on over to Chad's page, and hit that like button on your way out. It don't cost you anything. Guys, it keeps Chad's show up in the algorithm so we can continue to gain traction and get views. The more views we have, the better sponsors we have. The better sponsors we have, the more money we make. The more money we make, the better show you have. So do me a favor. If you're on Graham's channel, like button, slide over to Chad's, hit that like button on your way out. Don't cost you anything. Other than that, love you, miss you, mean it.
Love it. Thank you, Todd. Thanks for producing the shows.
Man, yeah.
I don't know
It's been
when
a good
we're-
week so far.
It's been fun, dude.
I've enjoyed it.
Yesterday we had about 20,000 people watching Dear America the entire 3 hours. This morning we had about, I think we got up to 17,000 at one point, but 15, 16,000 stuck
Yeah.
with us. And,
I mean, right now you've got 6,000 right
dude,
now.
and it's so humbling. It's just so humbling
It's
that
amazing.
people
I hope I have 6 this afternoon.
will
That'd
hang
be
with
great.
us. Make sure you're watching the hot seat with Todd and in the afternoons. And we're just working hard. We're building something, man. We got a relationship with each other, and we just said, let's do this thing together because we're heading into some wild times, and so we might as well build it together. So. I'm humbled that this many people hang in there, listen to us, and just spend time with us. It means so much. And I always encourage people, go check out prathertees.com. If you're at watchchad.com, you can go to my shop. But we got some fun stuff over there. We got some clearance items. Some of the old unapologetic merch is over there for like $10. So go check it out. And don't forget our sponsors, both patriotmobile.com/Chad and twc.health/Chad, the wellness company. Go get that wellness kit. Man, I appreciate you, Todd. Thanks for working
Man,
hard.
yeah.
I don't know when Royce and Graham are back. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe.
We don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
They tell us nothing.
Nice.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I appreciate
Like I
you,
said,
brother.
the night of, I'll know tonight about 8 o'clock whether or not I'm on the producer's seat again. So
Well,
luckily I'm getting it down. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you're doing a
working.
great
It's
job.
all working. So
You're
that's-
doing a great job.
I don't have all the Royce's bells and whistles, but this will work.
It works. But guys, join us tomorrow morning, 8 Central on Graham's Rumble, and click the like, click the share. Make sure your family and friends know about it. We're having a good time, man. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
I love you guys. God bless you. For Todd, we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.